Guys, so this is gonna be a really hard video to make because as you can tell by the title, I'm an atheist, and it's just really hard to come out as one because I don't want to be judged. I really don't like the idea of people thinking that I'm going to go to hell because I just don't believe in a deity, any religious deity. So yeah, I'm just going to begin my story. So, when I was 8 years old, I was introduced to God. I believed in him right away, and never questioned my faith. I believed that people went to heaven when they died. And while I was in Sunday school, okay, so I went to a congregational church. Yeah. There I learned that God loved all of us, and that we would be with him for all eternity after we die. I wouldn't say that I was a devout Protestant. I didn't actually pray until I was 11 years old. I wasn't praying for the first 3 years because I was just afraid of hearing God's voice. Yeah, I used to think it was so creepy how he would be watching us and stuff like that. Yeah. And that he could hear everything we say, and that he can even hear our whispers, and that he knows our thoughts. Yeah, I was very creeped out by that as a kid. But yeah, still loved God, still believed in him. Yeah. And I started praying when I was 11 years old was because I was going through so much. I was going through depression. I didn't realize I had depression when I was 11. But yeah, things started going downhill when I turned 11. It's depression, like I said, anxiety. Yeah, I was miserable. I wasn't enjoying life. Yeah, so I went through some shit. I was praying constantly to God because I was going through so much. And I wanted to be happy and free from what I was going through. When nothing happened, I felt like God wasn't helping me or he didn't care. I felt angry that he didn't fix what was just going on. Okay, so when I was 12 years old, I found out that there was hell. I found out about the place hell, and I got scared. I was all OMG, so people go to hell when they're bad, and I just felt terrible about myself and all the bad things I've done in my life. Well, not all that bad. I never stole or anything. Never done anything really bad. But y'all have done some bad things when we were kids. So yeah, I felt really terrible about myself. Yeah, and I was so afraid that God was gonna send me to hell. And I would literally start crying because literally I was so afraid of hell as a 12-year-old. Yeah. And I found out because my mom told me about it, and I'm what? That place exists? Yeah. That scared me. I felt so guilty for all the bad things I've done and stuff like that. I was questioning what would send people to hell and stuff like that. And really didn't feel like I was forgiven by God. Yeah. So when I was 13, I started questioning whether God existed or not. I was an agnostic. I believed that it was unknowable, whether God was real or not. and I was still praying to God and stuff like that in case he did exist. And I was like that for like 2 years, and then, well, actually it was 3 years. When I was 15, I became an atheist. Actually, yeah, I became an atheist when I was 15. And yeah, I was afraid of death back then. Yeah, so, yeah. And then, like, I was, like, finding out on the internet that God only allowed believers into heaven. Like, a year later, I was 16, and yeah, decided to become Catholic. I decided to convert to Catholicism. Because, like, I felt like I had to convert just in case. And try to get myself to believe in God. So literally, I went through the process of conversion. And then, like, I got baptized, confirmed, had my first communion, yeah, and stuff like that. And I was, like, living in fear of hell. Of going to hell and stuff like that. Okay, and yeah, I felt like I couldn't be myself. I literally, like, tried to get myself not to swear, but yeah, I failed miserably at that. Yeah. I'd literally, like, start joking around, like, with my classmates at school, being all like, "You sinned! You swore, that's sin!" Yeah, but that was, like, all a joke. I knew that they weren't going to, like, convert to Catholicism. Yeah, and they would just start swearing and stuff like that. Just to tease me. Yeah. And, like, whenever, like, yeah. And everybody literally just talked about God with me. And, like, we talked a lot about Catholicism. And they would tease me, saying, and there were these kids at school that would tease me, saying that the devil was in them and I had to pray to get him out. Yeah. Yeah, and I literally didn't believe it was really true, but I still prayed anyways for the devil to get out. Yeah. I don't know what you guys are really thinking about that, but yeah. And, like, I literally was questioning my faith, and I was worried for everyone's salvation. I would literally pray for everyone to convert to Catholicism. Yeah. I wasn't all that happy as a Catholic. If you guys are wondering why I decided to become Catholic, it was just a strict religion and stuff like that. And yeah. And, like, I was questioning, like, why are there other denominations? Like, Martin Luther, like, started the whole Protestantism thingy. Like, there's so many different denominations in Protestantism. And, like, I'll get to that in another video one day. So, like, yeah, started questioning my faith, and I literally was having these doubts, and with these doubts came the fear of going to hell for not believing in God. And I'm thinking, like, wow, I just thought that God wasn't all that loving. Like, he would, like, send someone to hell for just not being perfect. I just, like, thought that was, like, all fucked up. and stuff like that. And I was like searching on YouTube to see if there were like any other Catholics or Christians that thought a similar way that I did. And I ended up coming across some YouTube channels about like about these extremist Christians like protesting outside abortion clinics. Yeah, and I was like and I was thinking like, why would God like send someone to hell like for a woman like deciding to get an abortion? Yeah, and I'll get to that in another video. And yeah. Okay, so yeah, and like they were like and these people were like shaming women for going to get abortions, and that Planned Parenthood was really planned murder. But yeah, you know, I'll get to that in another video. So I came across this YouTuber named God is Gray. I decided to check her out, and the first video I saw was her being a pro-choice Christian. And like, I just felt I started to feel a lot better about myself, being more accepting of myself, and stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah, but I didn't really become an atheist right then. Took a couple of months. But yeah. After that, like, I started to, like, become more, like, less serious about Catholicism. And, like, more, like, less fearful and stuff like that. Like, I didn't really, well, I was still fearing hell, but like, I was trying to like, convince myself that God was loving. Yeah. But yeah, like, I literally started accepting my feelings that God wasn't real. Like, I literally, in the back of my mind, like, had a feeling that God didn't exist. Yeah, and probably some of you Christians are all like, really? You shouldn't be telling us that God doesn't exist. Well, yeah, like, you can believe what you want to believe, it's just that I believe that there is no God. And no, I'm not gonna be all like, saying like, no, don't believe in God. Like, I have no problems with religious people. It's just that, like, as long as they're not, like, extreme in their beliefs, as long as they're not very condescending, as long as they're open-minded and accepting of others, like, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with people being religious. Yeah. So, like, yeah. I decided to, like, create this channel, like, just to like let everybody know that it's okay for them to be themselves and that there's nothing wrong with them if they're doubting their religion or are feeling a certain way. Like, I'm myself am bisexual, yeah, and I literally felt so much guilt for it. I felt like I couldn't be with another girl and stuff like that. And now that I'm an atheist, like, I feel much more happier. Like, some people feel comfort in their religion, and I have nothing wrong with that. And if people find comfort in their religion, like, they can believe in it. It's just that I never felt comfort in religion, And I just hope, like, everybody can understand that and accept me for who I am. Because really, it's hard to, like, come out as an atheist. It really has been hard on me. So yeah, I guess, like, that's it for my video. Bye guys, I'll see you in another video. Oh wait, just one thing, like, if any of you guys have any, like, suggestions of what I should do for, like, my next video, please comment below. Bye guys.